received negative feedback about my body when I was growing up.
I didn't start lifting until I was 27. I'm 35 now. I ran track growing up. I was an athlete. As I got older, I started to learn more about myself in terms of working out. So I was small. I probably was about 130 pounds up until I was about 25.
Wow.
And so when I turned 27, the only reason I actually got into lifting was because I tore my ACL. I had a knee injury. During the time where I was recovering, I told myself that I wanted to get stronger. I said, did this injury happen because I was small, weak, or my legs just not strong enough? Just those small workouts that they gave me to do, I said, oh, I want to do more of this. I just told myself that I wanted to get bigger. And I ate more food. It was a horrible bulk.
Yeah.
Brownies, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I thought the more that I ate, the bigger I would get. I only did that because I said, you know, I was teased back then. They make fun of you, bird chest, small legs. Mm-hmm. When you hear those things, it makes you, they say you got a small chest, you know, you try to do more push-ups. It's only gonna do so much. I felt that I would never be big. My brother was muscular. My dad's muscular. Cousins, everybody's pretty muscular. We did construction. At this point, I'm 21 years old and we walk on a construction site and it's a guy, he sees us as a family walking in and he goes, oh, it's the creatine team. And then he said, oh, but not you. And I was just, man. You know, and I remember that. I'm 35 now. I probably was like 21 years old at that time. To remember those times, it made me stronger. It really did. It fuels me. So
I grew up in a Filipino family. And a lot of Filipinos, especially the older relatives, don't have a filter. And they will just call it out how they see it. They're like, oh, you need to eat more. Is that all that's on your plate? They did that so much to where I just didn't even want to go to any family functions anymore. And I kind of was the black sheep of the family. Didn't go to any family functions. I didn't go to any family parties. The only time that they would see me is if somebody passed away. And when I did come back to one of those family functions, I came back this size and they were like, whoa. They called me Big Matt. Like they literally called me Big Matt when I came back, and it was a completely different thing. My family members would say those things to me every single time I was there, and it was multiple family members. I don't think that they thought it was hurtful at the time, but it did hurt and it stuck with me. It's gonna stick with you, you know what I mean? But it could be fire, it could be motivation. And not to prove them wrong, but to prove yourself that, hey, you don't have to stay that way. You know what I mean?
Well, I grew up really skinny. So I feel like people kind of praised me for that, like complimented, like, oh, you're so skinny, you're so tiny. I didn't really feel anything about my body. Like I didn't really think about it until social media. And then I saw everybody that looked super fit. I was like, they look so good. Like, I want to look like that. I don't want to just be skinny.
I think it's kind of interesting how you have kind of retired from bodybuilding, yet when you were growing up, you received a lot of positive feedback about your body. Then bodybuilding might have been like kind of a paradigm shift for you. Were you feeling confident going in and then the bodybuilding kind of changed your perspective? Was it the post-show sort of tendency to eat more food because the ghrelin is up, or what's your experience?
I think it was a lot of that. I think it was so much Instagram, seriously. Like when I was on Instagram, I'd see people, I'm like, I don't look like that.
Sometimes they don't even look like that, bro.
That's true.
They don't even look like that, bro.
That's so true.
Lighting.
The lighting, the face tune.
I know better now, but that was like 10 years ago, so.
Wow. I had a pretty different experience because I didn't grow up skinny. I grew up on the heavier side. And so of course the beauty standard as a girl is to be smaller and to be thin. And honestly, I'm just hungry. I love to eat food. I love food so much. So I got the feedback from a very early age, like when they did fitness testing, you know, my BMI was in the unhealthy overweight range. And so I was told that I was overweight and it was unhealthy. And when we ran the first mile in school, I was the slowest one to run the mile. I'll be honest with myself, I wasn't in a healthy state. So then what was funny was everyone came to me when I started to lose weight and they were saying, oh, you look so much better now. You were so chubby. And they had never told me that before. And then as I continued on my bodybuilding journey, I started to get more muscle. And I started to kind of achieve that frame, like that bikini look. Then I started to receive compliments and people really started to love my body. And as it continued, then the compliments once again became negative feedback. And that's why I guess I'm grateful for bodybuilding, because it kind of taught me a new beauty standard. Being big is beautiful, having muscle is beautiful, bulking is beautiful. Like, I don't want to be super stick thin like they encourage girls to be. I want to be shapely and muscular and strong. I want you abs. Right? Right?
Bodybuilding competitions have made me insecure.
Just me over here. I felt like they made me see things about myself that I never saw before. Like, I never felt lean enough, ever. Even though I was like 12% body fat, I still didn't feel lean enough. I was gonna go to like agree or strongly agree at first, but I picked somewhat agree because I do feel like it taught me a lot, and it helped me be more confident in the way that I showed myself I could do something really difficult. And I proved that to myself, and that helped me internally, but I think externally I was pretty insecure. Oh, he's changing.
All right, so I never got on stage yet. I always looked at myself as preparing to, right? So I've done it so much where it's like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get ready for a show here, but then I never met that date. Why didn't I meet the date? I don't know, maybe subconsciously I was thinking about being on stage and not being, up to par, and the fear of not doing the poses or a routine a certain way, things like that. I could pose and everything like that, but to the standard that I like, which I'm a harsh critic of myself, sometimes I just feel like what I did or what I put in is not good enough. Just doubting myself a lot. And I think fear of losing. I'm not a sore loser, but losses tend to get to me at times, especially growing up. I have an older brother. He's almost 2 years older than me. He was stronger, faster, bigger at the time. Me being a younger, smaller brother, I had someone to chase, someone to follow after. Over the years, I have grown to be scared of losing, not just in competition, just anything. I'll start these things, but I won't finish. But then when I do that, I have to take the wins within whatever it is that I did. That's how I look at it. The mental aspect of it, I think it's getting to that point where you have to jump over that hurdle of getting past yourself, not only everyone else's idea of you when you get on stage, but am I good enough? Can you return back mentally to being normal after? Do you really want to keep putting that on the line,
I didn't.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
A bodybuilding competition would not make me insecure because I know how hard I worked for the physique that I built. When I'm training around like other bodybuilders, I respect that. I respect the work that they put in. I'm honestly just inspired when I'm around other bodybuilders too.
Well, I started lifting so I can gain more confidence. I was skinny, right? So I was 16. Even my mom used to tell me, okay, don't be weak, because it was only me and my mom after I lost my brother and my father. So she used to push me to be stronger. And you're in sports with your classmates, and they're either faster than you or like even getting grades better than you. So it was all kind of like discouraging at that moment. I studied a lot of nutrition and training. I won my first competition. I became Mr. Lebanon, Mr. Beirut, which is a stepping stone to go to the World Championship, which is my ultimate goal at that time. I gained a lot of confidence from that. I remember my first Arnold Classic was the champion of each country. So once we stepped on stage, next to me was Mr. Brazil, next to me was Mr. USA. So I'm like, wow, this is way tougher than I thought it's gonna be. I learned a huge lesson from it, and so I kept working out to become the best version for myself. It didn't make me become worse. Actually, I have more confidence because of it.
Well, I feel similarly. I competed for the first time this summer, and I won the competition. I won the overall. Not that I ever doubted myself. So there's a confidence from the actual art of bodybuilding, of lifting, where you're like, wow, I proved myself wrong. And so I had a level of confidence going in because I was lifting, yet my environment was full of people who were trying to make me doubt myself. Like when I started the prep, I had done a bulking phase for 8 months, and I purposely gained weight, obviously, to build muscle onto my frame. So I joined a bodybuilding gym at the peak of my bulk at like 155 or whatever for 5'6" was like a big girl. So I joined and I tried to meet friends there, and I was used to people being so kind. And I started there and I was like, oh yeah, I transferred to this gym. I decided to make the investment because I'm gonna do my first bodybuilding show. And they all looked me up and down, and a few of the trainers even, they said, oh, you know wellness, they're supposed to have glutes, right?
What?
And all of them would say like, you're not ready, you're not good, you're not gonna be good. They all doubted me. One of the trainers would kick my bag out of the way and had her client training at the machine that I had my bag at. I don't know why I caused such a ruckus at this gym. It was like actually so ridiculous. And so when I finally won the show, the owner of the gym was there. All these people who had told me that I was gonna lose, that I should take a lot of time, that I should compete when I'm ready, were in the audience and saw me when I won. It was very gratifying to prove these haters wrong.
Yeah.
When people don't understand who I am or my journey or why I'm doing what I do, I can be assured in the fact that I know what I want and my path is between me and God.
I have pushed my body beyond healthy limits.
I did a bodybuilding competition, and afterwards I had an eating disorder, so I felt like that was a little too far. I never felt full because I dieted for 6 months. No matter what I tried to do, I just couldn't stop binge eating. So I had to go to therapy. There's so many times where I thought I should just make myself throw up. So it was just like getting worse and worse. And it took me probably like a year to recover from. So wow, it was brutal. With the eating, I just felt, I don't want to cry. I'm sorry.
It's totally fine. You can take your time.
I just felt out of control and like worthless and like I didn't want to exist anymore, and I would black out and I would binge and I didn't even know what happened when it was over, and I knew I needed help when I was starting to think that I needed to throw up, because then it was starting to turn into something like really serious. As you see, I'm still like emotional about it, which is weird because I feel like it was so long ago now that I should be fine to talk about it, but it was hard. And all I can say is I grew from it and got stronger, so.
The reason why I chose Agree was because when I bodybuild, I sometimes train till I'm about to throw up. So say I was doing like a leg press and I was probably on maybe the 50th rep.
50 reps is a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah, at the end, I'm dripping, like, I'm like,
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
There's something about it. I think it's like a rush, like an adrenaline rush. It's like therapy for me. I go there and I work things out mentally, and that's why I exhaust myself physically.
Yeah, I think I do push myself past the healthy limit, just in terms of injuries. I do have a shoulder injury. It's been there for some years now, from when I was doing construction years ago. I know how to mitigate it, if you will, like the pain and things like that, so I kind of work around it. It doesn't hinder me, and that's why I say somewhat agree in that sense. I think we all push ourselves to certain limits that could possibly be unhealthy, you know what I'm saying? But we know how to toe that line, you know what I mean? So
Totally get
Why
it.
would you want to repeat that if it's causing you pain? Why you want to repeat it?
it's the love. It's the love for lifting. It's the love for just, I guess, the aesthetic. Not necessarily only the aesthetic, but the strength aspect of things. I could work around it. That's how I look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
working around is probably better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I'm in the somewhat agree that I work past, you know?
Well, I'm actually surprised that I'm the only one over here on slightly disagree. And I feel like during my own prep or in other athletic pursuits too, I've always kept in mind my health is a priority. And I feel that by training naturally and competing naturally, and I would say that I haven't really pushed my body to a limit that was unhealthy. I think I pushed it far, but I personally have never really thrown up on leg days, and I still got something to show for it. So I'm not super upset about that. I think the positivity, the mindset is what breeds the physicality anyways. So if you could be optimistic about your state and your training, then that will also show physically.
From the years I competed, I only pushed myself a little bit on the last 10 10 days when you have to manipulate the water intake. So the last 2 days before stage is always very stressful. And unfortunately, 2 of my biggest competition, I couldn't sleep before. For example, for the World Championship, I had to fly all over to Budapest and I couldn't sleep for 36 hours. And that actually made my condition, like we call it, you get flat.
Yeah.
So as much I was very lean, but it didn't show very well because of the unhealthy state of where you deplete water and electrolyze mainly the minerals, so your nervous system wouldn't be resting. So that was like an unpleasant experience. Like he said, sometimes you do it because you just want to feel this again and you like it.
The hydration thing is kind of making me think, okay, maybe. But I didn't die, so what limit was pushed, you know? But I definitely needed Pedialyte.
Yeah.
I definitely need Pedialyte afterwards.
I think we could all.
I mean, that's when you.
I think we all needed Pedialyte afterwards.
What if the story you're telling yourself isn't the whole story? We're all moving through life boxed inside an invisible, personal reality filter, a perception box. Your perception box shapes how you see the world and how you judge yourself and others, often without you even realizing it. So if something in this episode makes you a little uncomfortable, ask yourself, what am I reacting to? What story am I believing? And what might I be missing? Now let's get back to the video. I care about how I look more than my health.
I really do care about how I look, you know? Like sometimes like I'll go to the beach and I'll just walk with my shirt off because of the physique that I built and it feels good. But then I was on the fence of that because I did go through a very traumatic health issue and it almost cost me my life. I'm a cancer survivor.
Wow.
In 2023, I was diagnosed with leukemia. They didn't know that I had it for a whole entire year. So I was actually training for a competition while I still had it. They thought I had sciatica. Sciatica is like nerve pain running down your lower back to your legs, which is very similar to leukemia pain. I went to urgent care at least every 3 weeks for a whole year to get a steroid shot in my leg that would take the pain away temporarily. But I would keep having flare-ups. It was an ongoing cycle. It got to the point where I was immobilized and I was using crutches just to get around. In 2023, it got so bad because I couldn't get out of bed. And there was this one morning where my girlfriend at the time was calling me like 19 times. My phone was right next to me. I remember this. I was laying in the bed, my phone was right next to my head and I couldn't even grab it because my legs were no longer working. I was taken to Sharp Hospital and they gave me 3 blood transfusions. They didn't know exactly what it was at first, but they told my family member and the person that I was with that I was dying and they needed to work on me really fast. So if you guys are familiar with what a crash cart is, they brought the crash cart in. I mean, somebody's dying and they have to work on that person. I spent 3 nights in the ICU. I had this machine on my legs that were pushing my calves in to pump any blood that they could. 3 blood transfusions one night, and then I had a bone marrow biopsy. A couple days later, it came back leukemia, you know? So I had to basically just fight for my life every single day. They started giving me chemo. The whole treatment lasted 11 months. So I went through intense chemotherapy where I was having 5 infusions per week. And those infusions could be anywhere to 4 hours long. A lot of that came with complications. The chemo got rejected from my body and almost killed me. When I threw up the chemo, it burned the inside of my throat all the way up to my mouth. So my whole face right here was black and burned. I have this right here. This is a PICC line that got infected. They pulled it out. I had a PICC line here that got infected. They pulled it out. And so now I have this right here, and it's a port for easy blood draw access. Since I am now in remission, I don't have to do any treatment. I just have to go once a month for a blood draw just to check the labs.
And how long have you been in remission?
1 year now. In August, it was I hit 1 year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So getting on stage is a big thing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I do say this. I wouldn't change a thing because it made me the person that I am today. And it made me very resilient. And the tiger on my neck stands for resilience.
It's really inspiring.
Thank you.
I wasn't expecting that.
Me neither. I was not
really
expecting that.
Standing here is truly a blessing. And I'm going to say this to everybody. I give God all the glory. He's the reason why I'm here.
I never risked my look over my health because like I want to be like kind of an idol for my clients and the people around me. You don't want to risk like you're doing something unhealthy and to look good, but your organs inside are not functioning the correct way. So whenever I would feel something is not the way it should be, I would go to the doctor and get blood work. I try to get twice a year full blood work. I used to diagnose myself almost before just heading to the doctor and saying 1, 2, 3. So not everyone wants to be a bodybuilder, want to compete, but you want to show the people, okay, working out is something very good for you to do on a consistent basis for the rest of your life. So that was always the most important for me.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Why'd you switch?
What he was saying, actually, because I think if I had some condition where the doctor was like, you can't lift or go to the gym anymore, that would be really hard for me. I think I would still go. But I don't think it's because of how I want to look. I think it's because for me, it's like therapy. It's like what keeps me sane.
I have 2 kids. I have an 11-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. Obviously, health is very important. I have to live as long as I can, you know, for them. I mean, I also did a bunch of strenuous work most of my life, construction work. And now I'm training to be a fireman. So it's always going to be something that's like kind of hard on my body. And I take on that challenge. I take that task on, you know what I mean? In the safest way possible. So I try to remain healthy and physically fit and mobile as much as I can.
I love how my body looks.
I love the way my body looks because it is a mark of all of the pain that I've taken on. But because last week I was eating dates and almond butter and all these, I love dried fruit. I was eating a bunch of dried fruit and like, I went to Fatburger once and I was kind of off the meal plan because I'm still trying to dial myself back in post-show. And you understand how hungry you get post-show. Yesterday and a little bit today, like I was more bloated than I'd like. My digestion wasn't perfect. And so it wasn't like my favorite physique, but of course I love my body. I love everything it does for me. But of all the physiques that I've had before, my physique right now, it's pretty good. I somewhat agree that I love it, but I probably shouldn't have had some of those extra dates. But no hate though, no hate on myself, all love.
I know I was saying earlier that I had some insecurities and everything when I was doing my competition, but I feel like I've come a long way. And I do social media, so I get hate comments a lot. Yeah. But if there's one hate comment that never gets to me, it's when people try to say like, oh, you're not fit, you're not even fit, like you don't even look like you work out. I'm like, please. I've been lifting for so many years and I used to have really bad body dysmorphia. Like some days I would feel like, oh, I'm bloated or I look like I've gained weight or I look too small, like I don't look muscular enough. Then I realized that you don't have to look perfect every single second of the day. It's normal for your body to fluctuate. Yeah, I'm proud to say that I do strongly agree with this prompt.
After 23 years of training for me, I'm okay now how I look, but I know for the time that I'm putting in the workout, this is how I'm gonna be looking. If I put more, I could be better. I agree now how I look and how I feel. I'm sleeping and I'm waking up very good and that's it, pretty much.
Well, I strongly agree with this prompt because I put in the work. Coming from what I went through, that wasn't that long ago. I've only been back in the gym for about like shy of 6 months, to be honest. I still remember to this day when I looked into that hospital mirror and I was in a gown and I had no hair. That stuff sticks with you.
I strongly agree. I love the way I look. I love my body. I've only been 188 pounds, the biggest. I think that if I wanted to push myself to that limit, bigger, massive muscles, I think that I could win a bunch of competitions. Like I said, I'm not willing to push myself there, but I love everything because I know how hard I worked.
That's self-love, man.
I love it. I love
what
it.
it is,
I look at myself
self-love.
in the mirror every day. Every day.
What I learned today, all of us have had some level of struggle in regards to our physique, our bodybuilding, whether it be chemo, you have to raise kids alongside it, you had eating disorder after, you had to prep for these hard competitions with other competitors. And I think that just like the heavy weights, when they hurt in that moment, they're ultimately things that break us down in order to build us up later. When we all are asked if we love our bodies, after all the triumph and the turmoil that we've faced, we have all come out with some level of self-love because of our physical form, from our physical form. We have to go through some of these hardships in order to come out better from you guys, because we've all had some level of hardship, yet we've still come out loving ourselves.
Bring it in, guys. I want to hit. Come on. Yeah.
Hit the link below for perception box questions that invite you to zoom out, soften up, and see things a little bit differently.